Welcome to Biff's Mystery Theater. I have many tales to tell you. Ghost stories, murder stories, and tales that will make your bones chill. Join me, won't you? For Theater of the Mind, where you always have the best seat in the house. Now close your eyes and turn off the lights.
WDAF, Kansas City.
Dan Henry, WDAF Local News at 11. The outlook for Kansas City, a chance for thunder showers. Kansas City, Missouri police have one suspect in custody in connection with a shooting on the street at 33rd and Troost. 2 women were injured. They have been identified as 30-year-old Joan Oglesby of 2139 East 15th in Kansas City, and General Hospital lists her condition as critical, with gunshot wounds in the chest and stomach. The other is identified as Kay Sue Hammond of 5814 Olive in Kansas City. Hospital authorities say she is in fair condition with gunshot wounds in the pelvic area and right leg. The identity of the suspect in custody in connection with the incident is not known. Police are still investigating. A class action suit against the Kansas City, Missouri Board of Education and the Kansas City Teachers Union has been filed on the docket of U.S. District Court Judge Elmo Hunter. The suit was filed on behalf of his sons by the father of 2 boys who attend Southwest High School, asking the judge to order schools opened and teachers to halt the strike. A hearing was set for April 25th. Norman Hudson, president of the Kansas City Teachers Union, sits in jail tonight, his first in a 10-day contempt of court sentence, and all negotiations between teachers and the board are being handled by a federal mediator. In Kansas City, Kansas, teacher talks are to resume immediately, according to Superintendent of Schools Dr. O.L. Plucker, but negotiations between the NEA, representing Shawnee Mission teachers, and that district school board appear to have been stalemated, with teachers apparently demanding more than the 10.5% increase reportedly offered by the board. WDAF News Time, 11 o'clock.
News of the hour on the hour from American Information Radio. This is Richard Wall from Los Angeles, and at this hour, some black police officers in San Francisco have joined the protest against the stop and search policy in the Operation Zebra hunt for the killer of 12 whites. A member of the group, Officer Jesse Bird, announced,
"We are just as much concerned about the apprehension of this individual or individuals as anyone else. But we do not approve of the Gestapo-type tactics that are being used. We do not approve of people being stopped and frisked at random. We can only view this as another type of harassment."
Officer Bird's objection came as 5 black civic leaders filed a class action suit saying the tactics of searching blacks who match the zebra killer's description in San Francisco are unconstitutional. A Statue of Liberty takeover. That story coming up.
In the breath of a child lies the hope of our land. On the lips of a child rests the poem tall and grand. In the heart of a child is the peace that we have planned. And the breath of our children is a gift from God to man.
6 million children in the United States who should be running, laughing, and playing are coughing, wheezing, and choking. 6 million boys and girls are suffering from serious lung-damaging diseases. The National Cystic Fibrosis Research Foundation needs your help to help them.
In the breath of a child lies the hope of our land.
A group calling itself the Attica Brigade has taken over the Statue of Liberty in New York and promises to stay the weekend, demanding impeachment of President Nixon and protesting what's called social injustice in the U.S. President Nixon is spending the night at Camp David in Maryland. Earlier, the president went for a dinner cruise aboard the yacht Sequoia on the Potomac and then stopped by the home of his daughter Julie Eisenhower in Bethesda, Maryland. Mark Felt, former associate director of the FBI, says the White House asked him to issue news releases on Watergate that he considered improper for the FBI to be involved in. Felt ran the FBI after J. Edgar Hoover's death. The defense has rested its case in the perjury conspiracy trial of John Mitchell and Maurice Stans in New York. The prosecution will present rebuttal witnesses Monday. Israel and Syria disagree on losses in the first major air battles in the Mideast since the October War. But there's a warning about the consequences of the increasing escalation of the Golan Heights fighting. Correspondent Andrew Mizell's reports from Tel Aviv.
Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Dayan warned today that if the Syrians continue escalating the battle around Mount Hermon, Henry Kissinger might arrive here in 10 days to find a full-scale war in progress. Dayan issued the warning in a television interview which I watched here in Tel Aviv. It came on the eve of the heaviest day of fighting yet, a day in which Israel reported its first battle losses in the air, 2 warplanes shot down by ground fire. Dayan said that if Syria continued trying to capture territory, Israel would feel free to do the same. Andrew Mizell's ABC News, Tel Aviv.
Japan has signed an agreement with China for mutual airline service. The nationalist Chinese on Taiwan have threatened to end their aviation agreement with Japan because of the arrangement between Tokyo and Peking. Government economist Gary Sievers says inflation will remain a serious problem in the U.S. Sievers' remark followed release of figures showing the cost of living rose 1.1% in March, raising the 12-month increase in consumer prices to 10.2%. The Chicago Tribune has an announcement of interest to nostalgia buffs. The Tribune says it will bring back the original Orphan Annie cartoon strip starting Monday. The first episode will show Annie and her dog Sandy in 1936. This is Information Radio News.
From the Kurt Mears Sports Desk, the Kansas City Royals play the Chicago White Sox 2 more games in this series, tomorrow and Sunday, then move to Boston. A temporary restraining order has been issued against the Cincinnati Bengals linebacker Bill Berkey and the World Football League that keeps all WFL owners from negotiating with any member of the Cincinnati squad. Peter Oosterhouse holds the lead in the Monsanto Open Golf Tournament with a 36-hole total of 133, and the KU relays will be wrapped up tomorrow. Kansas City's forecast partly cloudy and mild with a chance for showers or thunder showers through tomorrow. After an overnight low around 60, the high tomorrow will be in the upper 70s. Dan Henry, WDAF News.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the fear you can hear. Welcome to the world of your own terrifying imagination. The art of the double cross, unfortunately, has become part of the fabric of our lives. In espionage, however, it is almost a lifestyle. In the world of spies, for the left hand ever to know what the right is doing is unthinkable. For the next hour, imagine that you are Larry Fielding, a 32-year-old newspaper man caught in a dizzying web of circumstances seemingly beyond his control.
Larry, please change your mind and come with me.
Not until you tell me who you are and why you sneaked into my hotel room.
You're a fool, Larry. You must know that the police are looking for you and they'll be here any minute.
Oh, well, you're here now, and I still want to know who you are.
If that's so important, my name is Carol Johnson. And when I tell you I know all about the murder of Dave Wilson, maybe you'll believe that I'm here to help you.
Our mystery drama, The Lady Was a Tiger, written especially for the Mystery Theater by Murray Burnett, stars William Redfield. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser, and by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal. I'll be back shortly with Act 1.
Hi, I'm I'm Goldilocks, Ms. Goldilocks, if you please, and I'm a professional taste tester. Here at my taste test laboratory, that's TTL for short, I taste test everything from porridge to diet drinks. Actually, there's not that much taste testing in porridge these days. There used to be. Once upon a time. I mean, that's how this Ms. got into the biz. But lately it's been diet drinks. I mean, with so many diet drinks going sugar-free, I've been really busy conducting taste tests. A rather unbearable assignment, to be sure. But then I discovered sugar-free diet 7-Up. Fresh, natural, delicious. My only problem is that sugar-free diet 7-Up tastes so good that it broke my Goldilocks diet drink taste-o-meter. Well, sugar-free diet 7-Up certainly has my seal of approval. This one's just right.
Don't let anyone con you into thinking it's wrong to turn in a heroin pusher. You're not ratting. You're doing your part to wipe out one of the most insidious epidemics racking our country today. So don't let anyone kid you. If you really care about the quality of life, if you really care about improving society, you'll do everything you can to get the heroin pusher off the street and into jail where he belongs. If you have information about a drug pusher, use the heroin hotline. The number is 800-368-5363. That's toll-free from anywhere in the country. The number again is 800-368-5363. A trained operator will answer your call, take your information, and pass it on to experienced federal agents who will investigate. You'll make your own special contribution toward helping us wipe out what President Nixon has called public enemy number one. Call 800-368-5363.
Walking is great exercise, and with good weather can also be great fun. But not when you've just been fired by the editor of the newspaper for which you've worked happily for 5 years. Larry Fielding has been walking aimlessly for 2 hours, trying to figure out why Horace Finley, the editor and his boss, had refused to give him any reason for his dismissal. Tormented by his frustrating thoughts and tired, Larry sits down on a park bench to think. He is so deep in thought, he is unaware of 3 men who suddenly surround him. Larry has only to look at them to know that he is in trouble. He tries to get up, but is pushed back down, and the men start to beat him up.
No, take my money and leave me alone, will you? Look, if you want money, I told you can have it. Help!
Calling for help when you're being mugged in a big city park is sometimes as helpful as trying to catch hold of a windowsill in a 30-story fall. But this time, there was a miracle. A stranger has seen the attack and rushes to help.
Hang in there, man! Here comes... That's a nice jaw you have there, fella. You need a lesson in kicking.
That took care of them. They're gone.
Oh, thanks.
Let me help you up.
Thanks, mister. Thanks a lot. I tell you, I was in real trouble.
My pleasure. Did they get your wallet?
No. I got a lot of bruises, but they didn't get a thing. Say, you're a pretty good scrapper for
a guy my age.
Well, yeah. Hey, what are you, a karate expert?
Oh, just keep myself in shape.
You sure do. Listen, can I do something for you to show you I really meant thanks?
You certainly can. How about coffee?
Oh, sure, but that's nothing. What I meant was...
I know what you meant. My name's Dave Wilson.
Oh, good. I'm Larry Fielding.
Oh, come on, Larry. Let's have a cup of coffee.
You know, I still can't get over the way you tore into those guys.
I was a commando in World War II.
World War II?
Did you think I was in the Civil War?
No, I didn't mean that. It's
Well,
just...
to a young fellow like you, World War II might as well have been in the last century. It was only 30-some-odd years ago, you know.
Oh, I know. After all, I was in the newspaper business.
Yeah, that's tough what you told me about losing your job. What are you going to do?
Oh, I don't know. Look around for another one. What bothers me is the way my editor let me go. No explanations. You know, we were friends. You'd think he'd at least tell me why he fired me.
Those things happen. Stop torturing yourself and begin making plans.
No, not until I get this thing straightened out in my own mind. I think I'll call my editor at home tonight and...
I've got a better idea.
Go out and get drunk, huh?
Nope. How about a trip to Paris?
Are you putting me on?
I'm serious.
Well, what are you? A scout for contestants for some kind of TV quiz show?
No, I am a man sitting on a couple of $100,000.
What?
And I need a guy just like you.
Now, look, I'm a newspaper man. Anytime a stranger starts talking about a trip to Paris and a couple of $100,000, I,
Walk away without even listening?
Yeah.
Even if the man just happened to maybe save you from being mugged, robbed, and beaten up?
Okay, all right, I'll listen, but believe me, that'll be it.
Fair enough. First, here's my card.
Oh, David Wilson, Calridge Imports. I never heard of him.
You can call and check me out. I told you I was in World War II.
Oh, look, I'm grateful to you, but you're wasting your time.
Why don't you shut up and listen? You've probably heard about the millions of dollars in artworks and precious jewels that the GIs liberated during the last days of the war.
Liberated, sure, yeah. Well, I've heard stories.
Well, most of them are true. One that I know in particular certainly is. Did you ever hear of the Lancer collection?
Lancer,
The Comte de Lancer came from an old French family. And the Lancer collection is a fabulous assortment of diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and other precious stones, which were seized by the Nazis when they swept through France in 1940. A pal of mine, not a commando, happened to come upon the collection when the Americans were driving the Germans back in 44.
Wait a minute. And he liberated it?
Exactly. He and a distinguished Frenchman named Henri Thiel.
Oh. Professor Henri Thiel? The archaeologist?
That's the man.
Oh, come on. He wouldn't,
You were saying something?
No, nothing.
You were about to say he wouldn't get involved in anything crooked, weren't you?
Yeah, something like that.
You're right, he wouldn't. But he was younger. The world was quite different then. And my GI pal was a most persuasive guy. They decided to bury the Lancer collection. They did. They drew a map. And today, Professor Thiel is the only possessor of that map.
And, what happened to your nameless friend?
He's dead. Professor Thiel wants to return the jewels.
That's easy, isn't it?
Not if the professor doesn't want embarrassing questions asked about how he came by that map in the first place.
Oh. What about you?
Calridge Imports is a highly respected and reputable importing firm. I want to keep it that way.
Oh, so do I, even though I've just been fired.
You haven't heard what I'm asking you to do.
Well, what?
Come with me to Paris. You're writing a story on Professor Thiel. He's good material. You'll grant me that.
Yes.
You'll interview him, naturally. During the course of that interview, he'll give you a slip of paper, which is a map showing the location of the jewels. You'll later deliver it to me. And that's all you have to do.
You, mentioned something about sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars?
That's right. The Lancer collection is worth that and more. I'm sitting on it. I intend to return the jewels and collect a reward. If you want to share in that, you deserve it. Mrs. Wilson, the report is positive. Fielding has agreed to go to Paris with me. He bought the story about picking up a map showing the location of the Lancer collection. Operation successful. You'd better be on your way, Larry. You're due at Professor Thiel's in 10 minutes.
I suppose it's too late to back out, huh?
You can always back out, Larry, but I don't think you will. There's really nothing to it. Make it look like a normal interview. Take notes. The professor will give you the map. Slip it in with your notes. Bring it back to me here. I'll be waiting.
Okay.
Larry.
Yes.
Relax.
Oh, sure thing. I'll see you.
Would Monsieur mind if I join him?
I wouldn't mind at all, but I don't think I'm what you're looking for.
But Monsieur is exactly what I seek. Exactly.
And just what is it you're seeking?
To warn you that you are in grave danger.
Why don't you come off it with that phony accent? If you've got something to say to me, say it.
Would Monsieur buy me a Pernod?
Sure. Garçon, Pernod, please.
Monsieur, it is very difficult for me. I do play a role, as you have guessed. And I am not here by chance. You must leave, and quickly.
Your Pernod, monsieur.
Not for me, it's for the lady.
And for you, I have a knife.
No.
Go, mademoiselle, go.
But he's going to die.
Do as I say. There'll be no problem. Simply put his head down gently on the table. So. And people will see another drunken tourist.
Your name is Larry Fielding. You're 28 years old, and you're feeling marvelous. You have just completed a fascinating interview with Professor Henry Teal, and you have the paper that you're going to hand over to your friend who's waiting at Les Deux Magots. You see him at the table where you left him. His head is down, but you're not concerned.
Dave, wake up. I saw the professor. What?
Monsieur, what has happened?
Well, I don't know. I came back to meet my friend. I guess he's passed out.
A moment, monsieur. Look, this man has been murdered.
What?
Stabbed to death. You will wait here for the police.
I will not. I'm getting out of here.
Who's there?
It is I. Open up.
What's the matter? What happened?
The other American. The young one. He got away.
You let him go?
He panicked. Ran.
Now what?
He'll probably go back to his room at the Dauphine. You will check.
But aren't the police looking for him?
I hope so. I gave them a complete description.
And what do I say to them if they find me in his room?
Calm, a beautiful young lady like yourself. Get to him and find out where the paper is.
All right. Who are you? If I take my hand away, you promise not to scream? Right? Okay. Now, why have you picked the lock into my room?
Never mind. You have to get out of here.
Not until you tell me who you are.
If that matters, my name is Carol Johnson. I've been sent here to help you.
Oh, sure.
I know about the murder of your friend.
Wait a minute. Sent by whom?
I'll answer your questions while we're on the way.
On the way to where?
Safety.
I don't need to run. I didn't kill anybody. I'm not about to take off with a strange girl, particularly not one who's equipped with skeleton keys.
Oh, suit yourself. Goodbye.
Come in.
Monsieur de Ransfielding.
Yes?
Inspector Victor Roux, Sûreté.
Oh.
You will please come with me.
What for?
Suspicion of murder of another American? Monsieur David Wilson.
Inspector, listen. Why would I kill Dave? I've already told you I had an appointment to meet Dave at the cafe. He was waiting for me. Would I have walked up to a man I just killed and shake him so that he'd fall down and make a big scene?
That is your explanation. There is nothing to support it.
Well, there's nothing against it either.
There is the word of Louis Goret.
Who's he?
The waiter who attended the table at which Monsieur Wilson and you sat. The only reason that you are not, as of this moment, charged with murder is because you did return. That much the waiter's testimony supports. Only he says that Monsieur Wilson might very well have been dead shortly after you returned, and that you had time to kill him.
That's a lie.
So you say.
Oh, just check with Professor Teal. He'll tell you what time I arrived, what time I left.
We have been trying. And there has been no answer. We may have him on the telephone now. Hello? Eh? Ah? So? Very bien. Merci.
All right, well, what'd he say?
That was not Professor Teal. That was his apartment. And his servant.
His servant? There was nobody there when I saw him.
Don't you mean if you saw him, monsieur?
Oh.
According to the servant, Professor Teal left for an extended holiday early this morning, and it is not known when he is expected back.
Your name is Larry Fielding. You're 32 years old, and you find yourself in prison in Paris, accused of murder. You know you've been had, and you're dealing with forces that seem beyond your control. You have a million questions, and the only man who could answer them is the man you're accused of killing. We'll be back shortly with Act 2.
When you drink beer, do you tilt the glass for long, hearty swallows? Or just tip it and sip it? Well, sipping's the thing for wine. But Budweiser beer is a hearty drink, brewed for zest and character. The best way to enjoy Bud is to drink it. Not chug-a-lug, just man-sized beer drinker swallows. That's when that famous Budweiser taste, smoothness, and drinkability really come through. Smoothness and drinkability that come only from natural carbonation and exclusive beechwood aging. Smoothness and drinkability, too good for any half-hearted sipping. So drink up. You'll see that brewing beer right does make a difference, and that when you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
In 1919, someone had a big idea. Let's help youth understand big business by starting them in small businesses of their own. And Junior Achievement was born. Each group elected a board of directors, chose a product, set up a production line, sold stock, and went into business. That year, 314 students made and sold products and learned the business of business. Today, Junior Achievement has grown to nearly 200,000 members. Junior Achievers are designing and marketing their own products and services, from cutting boards to printing. They're organizing sales efforts, writing marketing plans, calculating profit and loss. Running these small businesses helps Junior Achievers understand how big business works. Support Junior Achievement, where youth learns the business of business. Call your local Junior Achievement office.
To many Americans, Paris means visits to the Louvre, strolls along the Seine, or fine food. But to Larry Fielding, it means the inside of a prison cell, where he sits accused of a murder he didn't commit. Fielding knows he's been caught up in something that involves more than the recovery of some stolen jewels. However, what he doesn't realize is that he's the key pawn in a deadly game, and the players are about to make some moves.
Come.
I don't think it's smart to have me come here so often.
I would not have sent for you if it were not necessary. Do you still believe that Fielding knows nothing about the operation?
I do.
Then where's the document?
Well, we don't know he ever had it, do we?
We know he visited Thiel. We know that Wilson waited for him at Les Dumagots. We know he came back there. I think it is safe to assume that he was carrying the plans.
And he didn't have it on him when he was arrested.
Roger arranged to be there when Fielding was brought in and searched. He says there was nothing on him.
But he wasn't picked up right away.
Exactly. He eventually went back to his hotel room, as you know. I believe he has the paper and that he has somehow managed to hide it. It does us no good in prison.
We shall have to arrange to have him released.
And how do we do that?
We don't. You do.
Sit down, mademoiselle. Your passport says Carol Johnson.
That's right, Inspector.
And I am told you are in my office because of the unfortunate incident in the Café Les Deux Magots.
Yes, Inspector. I just had to come here to tell you you have the wrong man.
Ah? And how do you know that?
I'm studying at the Sorbonne. I visit Les Deux Magots all the time. I was sitting right there when that man was murdered.
Formidable. You saw a man murdered and you did nothing.
Oh, at the time I didn't know it was a murder. I just thought the man had too much to drink or was ill. But the reason I know that you've arrested the wrong man is that the murdered man was dead before this young American Fields or...
Fielding.
Yes, well, the man was dead before Fielding ever got to the table. Fielding came and shook him. And that was when it was discovered that he was dead. I'm prepared to swear to that, Inspector.
Of course you are prepared to swear to this story that you have just told me.
Why not? It's the truth.
Of course, mademoiselle. Why would a beautiful young lady like yourself lie to an inspector of the Sûreté?
I'm not sure that I like the way you say that, Inspector. But everything will be all right if you release young Fielding.
You have told me you will swear to this statement of yours in court. Therefore, I have very little choice.
Ah, good.
But, mademoiselle, I have been the police officer for 20 years. Long enough to know that witnesses who appear late with an alibi for an accused murderer often have reason.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And I also wish to warn you, mademoiselle, that the Sûreté considers this a very much open case.
That is the business of the Sûreté. Au revoir, Inspector.
Gérard, you will follow the young lady who just left my office, and do not lose her.
Hello there.
Oh, it's you.
Want to give me a lift?
Well, I suppose I owe you something for getting me out of jail. Taxi! Taxi! Yeah, we got one. Hop in.
Oh, thanks.
Driver, Hotel Dauphine.
Well, you look pretty good for a jailbird.
You look pretty good yourself for... Come to think of it, what are you?
An American girl in Paris trying to make a living. What are you?
An American in Paris in need of a bath, a drink, and some food.
You know, you're not bad looking.
Oh, thanks. While we seem to be exchanging compliments, can I say you're about the best-looking girl I've seen since I've been here?
Thank you. Now that we like each other so much, don't you think it's time we started telling each other the truth?
Yes, I'll buy that. Écoutez-moi, operator, well, never... You speaking? Okay. Well, look, I phoned the desk about an hour ago to get this room straightened up, and so far nothing's happened. Now, can you please just send someone up so I can sleep here tonight, huh?
Oh, while you're at it, where's our food?
Wait a minute, that's a different department.
Oh.
I'll have to call room service again.
Oh, maybe you won't have to bother.
Entree.
Your dinner, monsieur. Madame?
Merci.
Monsieur would like me to serve.
No, thanks. No, I think I can handle it myself.
As monsieur wishes.
Wait a minute. Don't I know you?
I think not, monsieur.
Now, I've seen you before. I'm sure I've seen you.
Paris is a large city, monsieur. One passes people on the streets and...
The streets, that's it. You're the same guy who was at the Café Les Deux Magots.
Monsieur is mistaken.
What? Hey, wait a minute. Come back here. I want to talk to you.
Oh, now don't go chasing him down the hall.
Why not? Listen, Carol, I'm positive he's the same waiter...
You just deny it and you can't prove it.
But...
Even if you could. What do you think it means?
Well, it means... Well, I don't know. But if I get him to talk, maybe I'd find out something.
I thought you were going to clue me in.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
Have you ever heard of the Lancer collection?
Of course. It's in the Louvre.
Oh.
The family of Comte de Lancer gave it to the museum after it was recovered when the Nazis fled Paris.
What?
Well, why does that shake you up so much?
Because it can't be true.
Come with me to the Louvre and I'll show it to you.
Well, that changes everything. Come on.
Where are we going?
To the American consul.
Well?
Unbelievable.
What?
Simply unbelievable. Do you know what the consul told me?
I predicted it, didn't I?
Yeah, that's right. He didn't want to hear about it at all. Just advised me to forget the whole thing and leave France. Incredible.
Well, not really when you understand that he doesn't know what you're talking about.
But you do.
Some of it.
Okay, take me back to the hotel.
Any reason?
I'm taking the consul's advice. If nobody's interested, I'll go back to the States.
Well, now that they've cleaned up the room so nicely, you're leaving.
Well, do you have a better idea?
More than one.
I think I'll take them one at a time.
Number one. Give me the paper Professor Thiel gave you.
Well, it looks like we're finally going to level.
Where is it?
Well, first you tell me something. What is it?
I don't know.
End of conversation.
Larry, listen to me. I work for Colonel Blake, military intelligence. I was assigned to this operation.
What operation?
All I was told was that Dave Wilson, who also works for us, was coming over here with you, and that you were to get something from Professor Thiel and give it to Dave.
Thiel worked with you, too?
He did. But now his cover is blown, and I don't know where he is.
Who killed Wilson?
I don't know. It could have been any one of 3 or 4 foreign powers.
And the only reason I'm alive is because somebody wants the paper.
That's right.
And if I give it to you, then there's really no reason not to kill me.
Oh, give it to me. I'll get it to Colonel Blake and we'll get you safely out of the country.
No, hold on. I got a better idea. I'll go with you to Colonel Blake and we'll give it to him together.
No, that would be too dangerous.
To whom?
Will you please trust me?
Give me a reason.
Please, where's the paper?
I burned it.
You expect me to believe that?
Why not? You expect me to believe everything you tell me?
You admit you had the paper. And somehow, between the time you ran from Les Deux Magots, you managed to hide it in a place where experts have been unable to find it.
I told you I burned it.
And you know that's a fairy tale that no one will believe.
I don't care whether you believe it or not. Now, are you coming with me?
Where?
To talk to your Colonel Blake.
He won't see you.
Oh, I think he will. Goodbye, Carol. It was nice knowing you. I think.
You will kindly step back into your room, Monsieur Feeling.
Now, wait a minute.
Let me introduce myself. I am Major Simonovich.
Oh, of the Gay Payou or the NKVD?
It does not really matter. What matters is that you and I have something to discuss.
I warned you.
Yeah, sure you did. Just like a rattlesnake does.
I do so dislike dealing with amateurs. This is strictly a business.
You mean you want to make a deal with me?
Correction. I mean you would find it wise if you wanted to make a deal with us.
For the paper?
Exactly. Where is it?
No, not so fast. Not so fast. You spoke about a deal?
You give us the paper, we give you your life.
You must really believe I'm an idiot. You people murdered Wilson. That paper is the only thing that's keeping me alive.
I have my word.
No deal.
Do you really believe you have a choice? Carol, call Rodjansky. Make the usual arrangements. We will wait here.
Donnez-moi 80-36, s'il vous plaît. C'est ça. Merci.
Carol.
Yes.
Tell me something, will I like Rodzansky?
By this time, Larry Fielding realizes that he's been used. That he was never supposed to bring Dave Wilson a paper telling the location of the Lancer jewel collection. But his discoveries have only added to his dilemma. He was quick-witted enough to realize that his only hope was to hide the paper, because that slip of paper is his last resort. We'll be back shortly with Act 3.
Breakfast in the morning.
Jerry Coffer for Kellogg's Special K. We've been having some fun in our television and radio commercials by using a ball and chain to symbolize the slight overweight problem common to so many of us. We point out that being a few pounds overweight is just a little more difficult for you. Climbing stairs, just walking around, even sitting down can feel, well, like you're wearing a ball and chain. In case you missed the message, it's this. If you really want to get rid of that extra weight, you really have to work at it by exercising and with sensible meals like the Special K breakfast. A 1-ounce bowl of Special K, America's favorite high-protein cereal, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, and coffee, less than 240 calories, nutritious and, by the way, delicious. So why not begin each day with a Special K breakfast and then keep up the good work? Special K can't help you lose weight all by itself, but it really is a good start.
Hi, I'm Hal Linden. There's a lot of talk these days about America's energy crisis. Talk about doing without heat, about doing without our cars, about what's going to happen if we run out of fuel. Well, we may not have to run out of fuel if we all work together to conserve the fuel we have. That means turning your thermostats down to 68 degrees during the day and turning them down to 60 at night. It means turning off lights, TV sets, and electrical appliances the minute we're finished with them. It means driving no faster than 50, starting or joining carpools, avoiding the kind of stop-and-go motoring that eats up gas by the gallon. In short, it means saving every ounce of energy we can, every chance we get. So please, do your part to make the fuel supply stretch a little further. For your own sake, don't be selfish. Don't be foolish. Don't be fuelish.
This message from the Federal Energy Office and the Advertising Council.
Newspaperman Larry Fielding sits waiting in his Paris hotel room, closely guarded by 3 members of the Russian secret police and the beautiful American girl, Carol Johnson. They are waiting for a man named Rozansky, who might very well be, for all Fielding knows, his executioner.
You know we mean to obtain the paper. Rozansky is a doctor and a chemist. He'll be here shortly. You will be put to sleep painlessly. You'll be taken from here in an ambulance to a safe place, and there you will be injected with sodium pentothal, Fielding. You will tell us.
Look, I don't suppose you'll tell me what's so important about this piece of paper?
You have heard of the SAM-6 missiles, the surface-to-air weapons with deadly accuracy that we have developed and which were used so successfully in minor wars in Asia and the Middle East?
Yes, I've heard of them.
Good. We learned that someone whose identity we still seek has invented a jamming device which would render the SAM-6 almost worthless. We don't believe that any such system can be invented, but we do not take chances. We have reason to believe that the piece of paper that you carried away from Professor Teals has the information for building such a device. That will be Rozansky. Carol, admit him.
Of course. Come in, Doctor. This is the patient.
Now, look, I really don't think this is necessary.
It will be easier if you don't fuss, young man.
I don't intend to make...
Hold him. Now, his arm. Hold it still. Good.
You brought a stretcher?
Of course. There. You'll be under in a moment, so we can leave. What is this? Gendarmes?
It has nothing to do with us. We are taking a sick man to the hospital. Put this stretcher into the ambulance. Quickly.
I must apologize, but we received a report from the hotel concierge that there was a dead man here.
Absurd, Inspector. This is Dr. Jansky. The doctor will explain this to you, Inspector.
This man became suddenly quite ill. I gave him a sedative to quiet him, and we're now taking him to the Lefebvre nursing home, as you can see by the ambulance.
You say he is alive?
Very much so. See for yourself.
Mon Dieu. I know this man.
Inspector, he must receive medical attention.
Of course. But I suggest that instead of taking him to the nursing home, he go instead to the police hospital.
Well, that's ridiculous. He's my patient.
I am afraid I must insist. This young man has most recently been released from jail, where we were holding him on a charge of murder.
If he has been released, then
Released, yes. but he has not been completely cleared, so... Laurent, Bigon, take this man to the police hospital.
Did you get a report?
Yes.
And?
He'll be conscious in an hour.
And he will talk.
I'm sure of that.
He will scream to see Colonel Blake, and then your cover is blown, and the whole operation goes fooey.
What do we do?
Silence him.
But what about the papers?
We will be faulted for that, of course, but if we do not have it, neither do the Americans. Who do we have in the police hospital?
Only Leclerc.
A weakling, but he can admit Rozhansky.
Rozhansky's a doctor. He doesn't need Leclerc to admit him. He can visit his patient openly.
Thank you, my dear. I visit Fielding and he dies shortly thereafter. That idea does not appeal to me.
We have to do something.
You are both right. Carol, you will be his first visitor when he regains consciousness.
No.
Yes, Carol. Rozhansky, give her your hypodermic kit.
I don't have to do this, and I won't.
You would prefer that in my report I mention your failure with Fielding when you had some hours alone with him?
I'll go.
That is wise. Rozhansky, give her the syringe.
Here.
Quickly. The car is waiting. And Carol, if you should decide, or even think about changing sides, it would be most unwise. You know the French police are still most interested in the person who murdered Wilson.
You awake now, Larry?
Oh, no.
Wake up and listen to me, Larry.
What?
You've got to listen. Try to understand me.
Wait a minute. What kind of a place is this?
You're safe. It's a police hospital.
All right, but how did you get in here? Where's Rozhansky?
Look, I can understand how you feel and why you don't trust me, but the truth really is that I am a double agent.
Oh.
Do you understand what a double agent is?
As near as I can figure out, a double agent is somebody working for two different sides,
yes,
and neither side trusts them.
Oh.
You know, that fits you to a T. You might just be telling the truth.
I am. I really work for Colonel Blake, as I told you. The Russians know it. They think I've infiltrated the U.S. military intelligence. But in fact...
Yes, I know. You've really done just the opposite.
Yes.
Worked your way into the Russian apparatus.
Exactly. Oh, Larry, how can I make you believe me?
You can't.
Listen, you were deliberately recruited. The reason you lost your job was because we got in touch with your boss. He agreed to go along. The men who jumped you were part of the setup so that Wilson could save you.
Hey, now, wait a minute. But that doesn't prove a thing. You could have learned all that working for Blake and still be with the other side and...
Oh...
And wait, now, speaking of Wilson, how about getting him killed?
I tried to warn him, but there wasn't enough time. It was either go along with that or blow my cover and endanger the whole operation.
And when I wanted to give the plans to Blake, you objected.
Same problem if I went with you to Blake or you went to him after we had talked. My cover was blown.
All right. Now, and suppose I had given you the plans. How would that have changed the situation?
We would have had a phony copy that I would have delivered to Igor and everything would have been fine. And there's still time for me to do that. If you will just believe me and tell me where the plans are.
I'd like to believe you. I really would.
Please. Where are they, Larry?
Get me to Blake.
It's too dangerous. Look, you see this.
Yeah, it's a hypodermic.
It's death. Igor sent me here with this to kill you. Now, do you believe me?
Wait a minute. If you don't kill me, and I guess you don't intend to, what will Igor and his friends think? Isn't your cover blown then anyway?
Could be, but if I come back with the plans and say that I got them out of you without having to kill you, there's a chance they'll believe me. Well?
I'm thinking. Who are you?
One of the hospital guards, monsieur.
Oh.
Mademoiselle, you have been here some time. How is the patient?
Guard.
Yes, monsieur?
Call Colonel Blake at U.S. Military Intelligence. Tell him I've got to see him right away on a matter of the utmost urgency.
Colonel Blake?
Colonel Blake.
I will inform my superior.
Now, you don't have to inform anyone. Just call him.
Yes, monsieur. The Major will be disappointed you have not followed instructions.
You are a fool. I would have had the information if you hadn't come in when you did.
I know what you were ordered to do.
What? What's this?
A moment of truth, I'm afraid, Larry.
Oh, I know how highly the Major regards you, mademoiselle. But I also know what he thinks of me. Tonight will change that. Give me that syringe.
Here, right in your arm.
Oh, you traitor. I knew.
Carol, you were telling me the truth.
Yes. Yes, I was. And I had to kill him. To make you see it. Where is the paper, please?
In my hotel room.
Oh, aren't you ever going to stop playing games? You know your room was searched.
Let me get dressed and I'll show you.
If it's not here, there's going to be the devil to pay.
Don't worry, it's here.
Now I'm the one who has to be shown. Trained operatives from 2 special branches went over this room with everything except Geiger counters.
Okay.
Where are we going?
The bathroom.
That was searched, too.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Oh, we went through that cabinet.
Did you now? What do you see?
Towels, paper tissues, some of your toilet articles. We took your razor apart.
And what else?
A roll of toilet tissue, unopened.
And as the French say, mademoiselle, voila!
Oh.
And now we unroll this toilet tissue and keep unrolling it, and...
Oh, my God. Where did you learn to open a package and reseal it like that?
When I was a kid, I was the best clerk in Roscoe's shipping department.
Oh. Thanks. It was nice knowing you. I really mean that, Larry.
Hey, wait a minute. Surely I've earned the right to buy you dinner.
I'd like to.
Well, you'd better, or I'll start doing some talking.
Blackmail?
You said it.
All right. I'll meet you at Les Deux Magots at 10:30.
No way. Let's try the right bank, La Rotonde.
That's a date. I'll see you.
You better be there.
Shirts, ties. Yes, I think that's everything. Come. Oh, it's you, Rojansky. Are you coming with me?
I am staying.
And we shall say goodbye. I do not have much time. The plane for Moscow leaves at...
I do not think you'll be taking the plane.
Are you insane? You know I've been recalled.
Not precisely.
What do you mean, not precisely?
Moscow feels you have bungled badly.
So, it's not the first time that an operation has been...
First, you were duped by the American girl. You know she was a double agent?
I know now. Did you know before she killed Leclerc?
I was not in charge at that time.
At that time?
Now there are 2 murders that cannot be hushed up. The French police must have a murderer to satisfy the public.
Then give them Carol.
I only wish that we could. They want you. You have been chosen to be the murderer. I am replacing you as the head of this section.
Ridiculous. I won't remain quiet. I have a lot I could and will say to the authorities if Moscow abandons me. Now you listen to me, Rojansky.
I have no time to listen.
Rojansky, wait. Don't...
Igor, you should be pleased to know that your dying will serve a good cause.
I'm sorry I'm late, but there were loose ends that had to be cleared up.
Well, I thought maybe you decided against coming.
Oh.
After all, your job here is finished.
Well, yes.
Sit down, sir. Now that the Russians know you, there's nothing for you to do. It would be suicide to try to, huh?
Oh, well, there are other things for me.
Sure. Like getting married to a lovesick newspaper man, settling down, raising a family.
Oh. Oh, I take it I'm your first Matahari.
Mm-hmm. First and only.
Well, Larry, we're very different from other women. In our business, you pay dues. And they're heavy payments.
I don't get it.
I'm talking about sitting at another cafe on the left bank. Sitting and knowing that an agent named Wilson was going to be killed. Clumsily trying to warn him, and finally deciding that his death was the way it had to be. Larry, that's a big payment.
But you can forget about it now. It wasn't your fault.
No, forget about that and forget about Leclerc.
Well, you had to...
You see, it's even hard for you to say. I had to kill him. No, Larry, I have to keep on to justify those things.
But, Carol, listen...
Bye, Larry. Thanks for the champagne.
But our dinner, I've ordered dinner. At least have dinner with me.
Oh, we both know what I have to do. If I ever change my mind, I promise I'll come running.
Larry Fielding sat in La Rotonde and watched her walk away. He knew she was walking out of his life. For a moment, he toyed with the idea of running after her and joining her world of spies. He flirted with the idea that he might even be some sort of an American James Bond. But then, the waiter brought the dinner. And to his surprise, he was hungry. And that realization made him wonder about whether or not he was truly in love. I'll be back shortly.
Who knows how to help you solve your shopping problems? Your Better Business Bureau knows.
I saw this perfectly darling mirror in the showroom, so I bought it. But when the truck came, they delivered this thing I never saw before. Now what am I going to do?
I'll tell you what to do, madam.
But who are you?
I'm the man from the Better Business Bureau. Now, the first thing to do is to call the store manager and tell him what happened. But in the future, when your merchandise is delivered, you should examine the item before the delivery truck leaves. And if it's to be delivered from a warehouse, have a clear understanding with the dealer that unless it is the same as the sample shown to you, you will not accept it or pay for it.
Oh, thank you.
Just part of my job, madam, to help people with their shopping problems.
Back in New York, Larry Fielding returned to his old job. An old friend and boss, Horace Finley, who was curious about what had happened in Paris. Finley kept pressing Larry to tell him about his Parisian adventure. Finally, Larry said, I'll tell you, Horace. In Paris, the food was good. Our cast included William Redfield, Joan Loring, Roger de Koven, Ian Martin, and Chris Gampel. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
I really killed that boy, you know? What did you say? I killed him, Mr. Murray. I waited for him in the hallway the next day, and I grabbed him. He was a scrawny kid. It was like wringing in the neck of a chicken. I'd do the same thing again, Mr. Murray, to the next guy who bothers my wife. They gotta learn. You lied to me. Every stinking word you told me was a lie. Don't be sore, Mr. Murray. I couldn't tell you the truth, could I? I mean, you wouldn't have taken the case, would you? Yes! I would have taken the case and told you to plead guilty with cause. No, I wanted you to get me off, and that's what you did. Look, I've got to go now, Mr. Murray. I just want to say thanks again. Oh, you think it's that simple? You think you can just walk out of here? Melanie's waiting for me. She likes to eat dinner early. The girl's always hungry. So long, Mr. Murray.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by new sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Radio Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
WDAF, Kansas City.
Come in. Welcome. Welcome to Mystery Theater. I am Hyman Brown, your special envoy from a wild and weird country that exists way down deep in your very own imagination. To many people, especially city dwellers, grass is something to smoke, or perhaps something that has keep-off signs on it. The fact is, grass is the foundation of life as we know it. All the greens we eat are grasses. All of the meat we eat is nothing more than grasses transformed. In many ways, the quality of our existence depends on the quality of our grass, which means that those who can change that quality, for better or worse, literally hold our lives in their hands.
All we need is your confession.
I didn't kill him.
You swore you were going there to shoot him.
I know, but...
You did go there.
Yes.
You confronted him.
I did.
The gun. Now, this is the gun that fired the bullet. Can you identify it?
I already have. It's mine. I don't deny it. I tell you, I didn't kill him.
Just look at all the evidence.
I don't care about the evidence. I know I didn't kill him.
Our mystery drama, Snake in the Grass, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Sandy Dennis. I'll be back shortly with Act 1. Her name is Augusta Sanderson. She's 36 years old, and while there are those who say she has never been kissed, we cannot vouch for the complete accuracy of that statement. What does she do? She's an agriculturalist. An unusual occupation for a woman? Well, don't say that. We live in liberated times. You'd be surprised at the things women can do. You might venture to inquire why they want to do them, but that's another story. Our story begins in a quiet university town in the Northwest.
Hey, ma'am.
I'll thank you not to patronize me.
Well, all I said was...
I'll thank you not to call me ma'am. Ma'am is short for madam, and I am neither the mistress of a household nor the keeper of a brothel.
Well, I only wanted to say hello and welcome to Pete's for 25 years, an oasis for the thirsty.
I have a B.A., an MA, and a Ph.D. I hold the rank of full professor at the School of Agriculture. I don't have to be addressed as ma'am as if I were some fragile Victorian lady.
Well, how's Doc? Or, Prof?
Now, I intend to become extremely inebriated.
Oh?
And it's just as well that I don't make a spectacle of myself. Let me have a...
A what?
I don't know. Tell me, what's best to make you forget?
Well, nothing can ever really make you forget.
Very well. What is good for building courage?
Again, nothing.
That's not what I hear.
Well, it's true. You get maybe the illusion of courage, but not the real thing.
Well, dispenser of illusions, pour one for me.
Oh, you must be the lady prof at the ag school, huh?
The lady prof at the ag school.
You know Dr. Howells?
Do I know Dr. Howells?
Yeah, I was reading about him in the paper.
Let me tell you how well I know Dr. Howells.
Wasn't that a terrific thing he discovered?
I know Eugene Everett Howells well enough to kill him.
His new feed grass will mean that millions of starving people... What'd you say?
I said I intend to kill him.
Yeah, well,
All I need is the courage, or the illusion of it. And I'm feeling bolder every minute.
Yeah, look, don't you think you better...
Don't I think I'd better what, go home?
Stop talking foolishly.
But I have every right to talk foolishly. You know why? Because I've been a fool all my life.
Yeah, well, I'll get somebody to take you home.
The article in the paper said that Dr. Howells created the new feed grass. He didn't do it.
He didn't?
No, I did.
You did. Okay.
I mean it. I really mean it. It's mine.
Oh, sure.
You see, you don't believe it.
Well,
In the Himalayan regions in Asia, the terrain, the climate, is almost like what we have here.
Yeah, well, look,
No,
You have to follow this. They have an economy, an agricultural economy that's based on goats.
Goats, yeah.
Goats. The goats are actually sacred. The soil is calcareous like ours, and a red clover grows there. But it's deficient in proteins and nitrogen.
You know what you need? A nice cup of
Now,
coffee.
I have been developing a species highly nutritious of purple clover. It would practically double the output of milk.
Is that a fact?
Think of how many lives this will save.
That's really great, you know?
It could have been the supreme achievement of my career. It could have meant a Nobel Prize, perhaps. Now there's talk of Dr. Howells winning it. It isn't fair. It's mine. Don't you understand? It's my grass. I created it. It's mine. Tell me, for doing that to me, for taking it from me, isn't that enough to justify my killing him?
I tell you what you ought to do, Prof. You ought to go home and sleep on it.
You don't believe me. You believe because I'm a woman, I'm incapable of scientific achievement.
Oh, that's not so. There's a whole lot of lady scientists.
Thank you, Pete. Is that your name, Pete? Thank you
What for?
for listening to me.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
And I see now. How clearly I see it now. If my life is to have any meaning at all, I must kill him.
Yeah, well, it's really getting late. You'll see. You'll feel better in the morning.
I feel better already. I'm strangely at peace with myself. I'm quite contented. You've made me see it. His death will rid me of all my demons.
Now, you really don't want to kill anyone. You're a lady.
Good night, Pete. You're a gentleman.
Yeah, well, look, James, well, she's got to be crazy. But what if she ain't crazy? Maybe I better... I don't know. If I tell a story like this, won't they think I'm nuts?
Lieutenant Novak. Hello. This is Lieutenant Novak. Hello. Who's on the other end of this?
Oh, no, not him. Of all the cops who could have answered that phone, definitely not Novak.
Huh? Oh. Whoa. Who? Someone's at the door. Just a minute! Oh, who could be ringing the bell at this hour? It's noon. How could I have slept till noon? Just a minute! I'll get on my... Just a minute! How could I have slept so late? Who is it?
Police.
Police? Why would...
Dr. Augustus Sanderson?
Yes.
I'm Police Lieutenant Novak. May I come in?
Well, yes. Why?
You are Augustus Sanderson?
I am.
Miss Sanderson, you're under arrest.
What are you saying?
The charge is suspicion of murder.
Murder? Whose murder?
Dr. Eugene Everett Howe.
Oh, but you're making
I must inform you of your constitutional rights.
But I didn't kill
Anything
him.
you say may be used against you.
Please, you can't be serious. Are you saying Gene Howells is dead?
That's right.
But why do you insist that I...
You said that you would kill him.
But I was only...
You're only one. Now, Professor Sanderson, you insisted to Pete Grimes at the Oasis Bar and Grill last night that you...
I was feeling very unhappy, and there are times when you say things you shouldn't.
You had a motive.
Motive?
Didn't you say that he has robbed you of a discovery?
Oh, that.
Yes, that. A discovery you considered great enough to make you eligible for the Nobel Prize?
He didn't exactly rob me.
No?
No, I gave it to him. I had to. Otherwise, well, it wouldn't be used, so I said, take it. It might as well be yours.
Why did you give it to him?
Because they wouldn't take it from me, from a woman.
I don't know what you're talking about.
In that part of Asia, women are considered, well, not exactly unclean, but it's hard for you as an American to visualize this. But the fact of my being a woman would make the grass defiled, unfit for the goats, which are holy animals.
According to the way you told the story to Pete last night, Howells robbed you of the credit.
He did. But I had no choice. If I was to save millions of lives, I would have to sacrifice my own vanity and say to Jean, let it be known as yours. But afterward, when I saw how Howells was preening himself...
You killed him.
No.
You left Pete's Oasis at 9 p.m. The coroner places the time of death at midnight. Where were you at midnight?
Here. Right here.
Can anyone support that statement?
Well, no.
According to Mr. Pete Grimes, you were acting somewhat strangely.
You could say that, yes, but I didn't kill him.
You went directly home after you left Pete's Oasis at 9 p.m.
Yes.
The ballistics lab has established that Dr. Howells was killed by a .22 caliber bullet. You own a gun?
Yes. Yes, I have a .22 caliber revolver, which I carry sometimes when I am in the field, especially when the snakes are shedding.
May I see it?
You see, snakes are very nervous when they shed.
The pistol, please.
And they strike at shadows.
Thank you. This gun's been fired recently.
Oh, no, not in months.
Well, you can smell it. You can see the fouling. Here. 5 live cartridges and 1 empty shell.
But I haven't used... The gun should be empty.
The lab will determine whether or not this is the gun, but...
But what? I put the gun away. I didn't even have any bullets I was supposed to buy.
I see the shoes you were wearing last night.
Why?
May I?
What will my shoes show you?
Dr. Howells is having a sidewalk repaired. There's dirt and mud in front of his doorstep. We have a mold of shoe prints. I'm sure these shoes will fit them.
But
There's dried mud on these shoes, too, Professor.
I can explain that.
Can you?
I was angry, so I went to his house after I left the Oasis.
But you said you went directly home.
I know I did. I know. I just thought that it might be embarrassing if I admitted nothing happened. I just saw him briefly, and I left and came here.
Professor, there are people who get themselves into a highly agitated state. Then they commit a crime. A serious crime like murder. And afterwards they forget all about it.
I am incapable of killing. I am not a murderer.
Well, what you're saying is you never killed anyone before. That's who the majority of murderers are.
But I know who I am and what I believe.
Well, that's why you made sure you'd be caught and punished, because you were brought up to believe no one should get away with murder.
But I didn't.
Now, first you were sure to make a public announcement.
I wasn't making any... I was overwrought.
You were sure to state that you had a powerful
That
motive.
doesn't prove...
Third, you used your own gun.
Why do you insist?
Fourth, you must have been aware of the fact that you were leaving shoe marks in the dirt. Why didn't you avoid doing that? Why couldn't you at least wipe off the mud? Now you just think about it.
Detective, I don't know what to say.
Well, did she or didn't she? Even she doesn't know for sure. The blacking out of unpleasant memories is by no means a rare occurrence in our culture. Well, let's give her an opportunity to collect her thoughts and see what, if anything, she can come up with in Act 2. They say the wish is the father of the deed, which is why we have inhibitions. No? After all, if every time you felt like killing someone, you did it, who among us would be out of jail? And so, here we have Augustus Sanderson, Ph.D., a knowledgeable professor of agriculture, about to be booked on a charge of homicide. Talk about still waters running deep. Here is a quiet brook, which apparently has no bottom.
What are you going to do with me, Lieutenant Novak?
Take you in, book you.
Lieutenant, please, give me a chance to think.
Now, that's not my job.
But I have to get my thoughts together, and how can I think in jail?
I'm sure you'll get out on bond.
But I'll be a different person. I'll stand accused of murder. People will look at me in a different way. I'll even look at myself differently. Please, help me.
How?
Help me think it through, from the beginning. Someone killed Gene Howells. If I didn't kill him, who did?
Look, Professor...
I need your help. the help of an experienced professional
That's
detective.
not my job.
And once you arrest me, you'll be through with me.
I already arrested you. I even told you your rights.
I know. You said I had the right to counsel. Well, you're my counsel.
I'm not a lawyer.
A counselor is one who advises. Now, please listen and advise me. Who else could have killed Jean Howells?
Who else had a motive?
Let me explain that to you.
Now we're wasting time.
You never waste time. You only waste effort. Arrest me and you'll get further away from the truth.
Well, what is the truth?
What did happen? What is the chain of events that led you to my door? The first link. Among the exchange students at the university is the crown prince of a protectorate located high in the Himalayan mountains. In Asia.
I know where the Himalaya mountains are.
And it occurred to me that I could help the prince to help his countrymen, who are mostly poverty-stricken herdsmen. And so, you see, Prince Lutov...
Oh, you must call me Shorty.
Ah, Shorty.
It is a fabulous joke. You see, I am 6 feet tall. None of my countrymen grow that high. You see, my brother Ali here is barely 5 feet. That is average for our country. Small people with small bones.
That's why I'm here, Prince, because your countrymen do not grow.
Fabulous. You hear that, Ali? A lady professor, a Shahiba, visits us because our country people are small.
There is great wisdom in this country, magnificent one, which is why we are...
Ali, in public, even you must call me Shorty.
The staple food of your people is milk, goat's milk.
The sacred goats of Kandar.
But the milk is scanty and significantly low in protein.
The milk is sacred. What the Sahiba says is blasphemy.
The problem can be solved by introducing a new kind of pasturage, a new clover which I have developed, one that contains more nutrients, one that will double the output of milk.
Fabulous.
We would have to arrange for proper plowing and seeding.
His Magnificence wishes to thank you. You will be informed of his decision in due time.
Yeah, but Ali, what
Just
is there
because you are not at home, Magnificent Shorty, does not mean you may act without meditation or counsel.
Ah, he's right, Professor. He's always right. He may be my younger brother, but he has the brains in our family. We will communicate with you in due time.
I didn't know what to think. Here, I was offering these people a way to save millions of lives. And how could they be so cavalier about it? And would you believe, a week later, I received a note from Allie.
Dear Professor Sanderson, after considerable meditation and prayer for guidance, His Magnificence, the Crown Prince Ludov, has determined that your estimable project is not practical at this time.
Why is it impractical?
Sahiba, it is impractical because you are a woman.
What does that have
And because you are a woman, you are impure.
Really? In what way?
In our country, you would not be permitted to come in contact with the goats of Kandar, which are sacred beasts.
But I'll have nothing to do with your goats.
You will have provided them with food. The people will ask, this new grass, from whence does it come? And the answer, it is the creation of a woman. We shall have civil war.
No one has to know.
It will come out.
How?
It will be a major news event, hailed all over the world. Many of our people read.
You mean they would rather starve than accept food created by a woman?
Madam, this is our religion. It is not to be mocked.
Forgive me.
Now, we appreciate your concern, Professor, but we must analyze the entire problem. Your new grass may save thousands from hunger, but cause just as many to die in riots.
Is this being turned down because I am a woman? Is that the only reason?
Yes. His Magnificent Shorty has no choice.
Well, then, perhaps there is something I can do.
What are you saying, Augusta?
Jean, this is your discovery.
But, that's not right.
I've agonized over this thing. What am I supposed to do? Let people starve because of their prejudices? And what right have I to call them prejudices? Those are devoutly held beliefs.
But this grass, this thick purple clover, I didn't know it could be developed.
I didn't either.
Well, how did the idea occur to you?
Perhaps it was supposed to occur to me.
Well, now, what does that mean?
Oh, anything you'd like it to mean.
Augusta, I'm afraid to take the credit.
Afraid?
Yeah, I'm afraid of what it might do to me. This will be hailed. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
It will earn its discoverer recognition, awards. How will I react? How will my personality change? I've always been content to do my work quietly.
We're talking about life or death for hundreds of thousands, millions of people.
And how will you change, Augusta? You'll see me regarded as a savior. What will it do to you? You'll start to hate me.
I could never hate you, Gene.
It isn't right. You've been struggling with this discovery for so long. You're going to regret it.
I'll think of all the children who'll have a chance to live. I'll regret nothing.
I'll regret it.
I thought and thought. There's no other way.
So you finally convinced Dr. Howells to become a hero. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
It's very noble of you. Very self-sacrificing. So why did you accuse him of stealing everything in Pete's Oasis?
Because Gene was right. He started to believe after a little while that the clover was actually his. It was supposed to be kept secret till we were ready for planting, but he let out a word here and there. And, well, compliments, praise, poured in. He started to preen himself.
And that's when you found out you were human, after all.
Yes.
And you gave up without a fight.
I'm not a fighter. I think it's more important for the grass to grow.
Now, I have to repeat this vital question, Professor. Why give the credit to Dr. Howells?
Because he is an authority on agriculture.
Yes, sure, but is he the only one?
Well, no.
The fact is, you could have given it to any number of people, isn't that true?
Yes, yes.
All right, why Howells? All right, I'll tell you why. You're in love with him.
That's
what? That's either true or false. You see, I listened to every word you said. Not only to the words, but to how you said them. I could never hate you, Gene. There's a tone in your voice when you say his name. That's funny, you call him Gene, he calls you Augusta. It's kind of formal, isn't it?
Everyone calls me Augusta.
But as far as you're concerned, Dr. Howells wasn't everyone.
I admit, I confess, perhaps, why shouldn't I have felt that I was in love with him? We certainly had similar interests.
And so you gave him this grass discovery, hoping somehow that he might respond to you.
That's not true.
It isn't, huh?
I gave him the credit because of the starving people.
Sure, and also because he might feel he owed you something. Like a proposal of marriage.
That's a lie.
Only you know that for sure. All right, maybe it wasn't so cut and dried. Few things are, but there was an element of give and take, wasn't there?
Yes.
But your generosity didn't change the nature of your relationship with Howells, did it?
No.
It was still friendship, at best, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that's what really infuriated you, wasn't it?
No.
You were, as they say in the books, the woman spurned.
Please believe me, I didn't kill him.
I'm afraid we have to go.
Where?
To police headquarters.
But I'm innocent.
Professor Sanderson, I admire you. You're a woman who worked hard against a lot of odds to get where you are. On the way, you must have missed out on many things.
Please, I am telling you I am innocent.
There was something between you and Howells.
No.
Well, what did happen? You're giving me a story about some purple grass, some Asiatic prince. Some deal you made to give Howells the credit for something. Now, how do I know any of it is true?
What are you saying?
This business about the grass, all I've got is your word for it.
I tell you it's true.
Well, all right. There's only one way to find out. Isn't there?
Yes? How may I help you?
Prince, Your Highness.
Shorty. You must call me Shorty.
I'm a police detective, as I believe this gentleman has told you.
Oh, yes. My brother Ali informed me. It's fabulous.
You know this lady?
This lady?
Of course they know me.
Ali, is this charming lady familiar?
No.
You must remember me. I was here to tell you all about my new grass.
Grass? Ali, what would we have to do with grass?
We have never seen this lady before in our lives.
Oh, it is a pity, because she is a most charming lady.
We spoke about the goats, the sacred goats of Kandar, and you said because I was a woman, I was impure.
Oh, that is impossible. Why should we insult you?
I told you the discovery would belong to Dr. Howells, and you said in that case you would accept it.
Ali, do we know Dr. Howell?
No.
But I was here. We spoke.
Professor, it's time we were leaving.
Ever get the feeling that everybody around you is crazy and that you are the only sane, sensible person in the room or even the world? Well, if you ever did, you are in a perfect position to appreciate what is going on inside Professor Augustus Sanderson this very moment. Well, we still have the third act, and usually we manage to sort these things out. What do you do when you are accused of murder? I suppose you admit it if it's true and deny it if it's false. But suppose you are not sure of the answer. Suppose the charge could be true or false. Suppose you reach that point where you just don't know. Is such a state of affairs possible?
But I was here. I spoke to you both.
Oh, would we forget so delightful a lady as you?
The Sahiba is mistaken.
I can't be.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry we bothered you.
Oh, it was no bother. Just think, Ali. When we return home, we can say we had a visit from a real American detective. Oh, fabulous.
Professor, I'm sorry, Professor Sanderson. The train has come to the end of the line. Last stop. All out.
What does one bring to a jail?
Well, a toothbrush, a change of clothes. Like I say, you've got a good chance of being out on bond.
Thank you. Lieutenant Novak, I can prove that I gave the credit for the discovery to Dr. Howells.
Well, suppose you did.
Then that would prove that those two are lying.
No, it will only prove that you gave the discovery to Dr. Howells for reasons of your own.
What reasons would I have?
Personal reasons. And that's why you killed him.
I still say I didn't do it.
Well, if that's your story, stick to it.
I didn't. Someone stole my revolver.
Professor, you'll have to convince a jury.
You don't believe it.
What I believe right now doesn't matter at all. Now just pack a small bag.
Ali?
Yes, Magnificence.
Tell me, little brother, why did we have to engage in that charade with the police detective?
I thought it would be instructive.
Instructive?
Why have we come to this most democratic of all countries? You were the one who insisted.
I know. I wanted to live like an ordinary common member of the people.
A desire I could never understand. Well, the common people, whether they be ignorant shepherds or sophisticated Americans, act alike as far as the police are concerned.
Is that true?
When questioned by police, the common people in America do exactly as our people do. But they have a most picturesque phrase for it. They clam up.
Clam up. How beautifully descriptive.
In both countries, one simply does not become involved with the police. And so, when I heard there was an officer at the door, I decided to act in our best interests. Who knows where a thing like this could lead?
Clam up.
It is, after all, my duty to advise you.
Fabulous.
Are you ready, Professor? As I said, you don't have to pack too much.
Lieutenant, Lutoff and his brother Ali were lying.
It's all in the hands of the jury now.
Don't say that.
Well, what do you want me to say? Look, I want you to know something. I like you.
Please don't.
Don't what?
Don't say meaningless words in an attempt to make me feel better.
I like you. Because you're a woman who's smart. Who's good looking.
If you really liked me, you'd listen to my story.
Because I like you, I'm advising you to change it. You want to beat this, don't you? Tell the truth. The truth is always the best defense, no matter how bleak it looks. The jury responds to the truth. They feel it. They respect you for it.
But I am telling the truth.
No. It was a lover's quarrel. Now have your lawyer get women on the jury. They eat that up.
If you're going to arrest me, get it over with.
Okay, I just wish you'd listen.
The truth is, someone came here, stole my gun. My gun, you have it. I want a receipt for it.
You'll get it. It'll be an exhibit at the trial. 122 caliber revolver. 5 cartridges. 1 empty shell.
I don't care about those. They don't belong to me. I wouldn't keep a loaded gun in the house. I don't even have any bullets, I told you. Why can't you believe me?
Because if I believed you, I'd have to believe in Santa Claus. And furthermore... Hey, maybe I do.
What?
Shh. These cartridges, they're not American-made. Look at what it says on the rim of each cartridge. Here. Where the manufacturer has his name. That's not American writing.
Those letters, it's a different alphabet. They could be Hindi.
Foreign shells. Made in India. Nobody sells them around here.
It was the younger brother, Ali.
Hold it.
I know why it was Ali. Let me tell you, from the very beginning, he was the one who was opposed to the...
Now, hold it a minute. This is Lieutenant Novak. I need something in a hurry. You got that Crown Prince going to the college and his brother? All right, get the phone number. Call him. Say it's a routine annual inquiry about guns. Ask if he has one. What kind? All right, call me right back at this number. 227-8308. Yeah.
The bullets have to belong to Ali.
Only if he has a .22 of his own.
It was Ali, I know it.
How can you be so sure?
He came here, he stole my gun, but it was empty. It was nighttime, the stores are closed. Where can he buy bullets? He can't, so he goes home, he gets his own.
He would only have those bullets if he owns a .22.
He has to. He must. It's the only thing that makes sense.
All right. Even if we can prove these are his cartridges, you know what he can say? He can say you stole them.
Why would I...
Because you're trying to construct a case against him. And you are.
I just know he killed Gene Howells.
Let's examine your whole story. They won't take the grass seed from you because you're a woman. All right, fine. You give it to Dr. Howells. Now, what's the objection?
The objection?
Now, it's plain sailing, isn't it? Plant the new grass, feed all the hungry people. What's wrong?
Ali. It's Ali. When I saw Gene Howells last night, he was terribly depressed and very frightened.
Lieutenant Novak. Yeah. Oh, he does. Okay. Prince Ali has a .22 pistol registered in his name.
Which means these are his bullets.
You said Dr. Howells was depressed? Why?
Why? Let me think. I was so angry and upset when I went to see him. I know I went in there hating him, and I left feeling sorry for him.
But you haven't told me why.
What did he say to me? Let me try to to remember exactly what he said to me.
I wish I'd never heard of that Clover of yours.
Really? The last time I read the papers, it was that Clover of yours.
It's mine only because that's how you'd have it. I told you this would happen. You'd have second thoughts, and I'd have a guilty conscience.
I'm sorry. It is all my fault.
And it may have been all for nothing.
Why?
They don't want the grass. They didn't realize it was purple in color.
Oh, what's wrong with purple?
Allie explained it. Purple is an unlucky color, and so the time wasn't right. But perhaps in the future...
What was supposed to happen in the future? If purple is unlucky, it will always be unlucky.
I became angry. I told Allie somehow I would let his people know about this grass and how badly they need it.
And what was his answer?
Nothing. He looked at me. Just looked. With those funny eyes. Well, you think they're funny, but they can be frightening. Augusta, why did you have to tempt me with this?
Please, Jean, try to be calm.
It's going to end badly, I know it.
We tried. They won't take our help. This is all we can do. Prince Lutoff was willing to go along. And it was Allie who raised the objection, and when that objection was removed, it was Allie who found a new one, the color.
Well, why would Allie want his people to go on starving?
Because... Wait. Jean said Allie had told him that the time wasn't ripe. Perhaps in the future. When it could do Allie himself some good.
Are you saying Allie has ideas of his own?
If Prince Lutoff is overthrown, and he could be, if the people get hungry enough...
Does Allie get the top spot then?
And then, as the new ruler, Allie can claim heaven showed him a new grass, and henceforth purple will be the color favored by the gods. But there's one thing. Where would he get the grass? With Jean dead?
Well, he could come to you with a brand new story.
No, the woman thing is too deeply rooted.
Well, as it stands right now, well, what is the grass? Where does it exist?
The grass is a box full of seeds, plus volumes of notes detailing hundreds of experiments, how it's formed, how it should be planted.
Well, where is all this stuff?
I turned it over to Jean. It should all be in his files at home. And I'll bet it's gone. I delivered the seeds and the notes to him myself. The only place he could keep them would be in these files.
Are you sure they wouldn't be anywhere else?
I'm positive. Besides, look at the notation on this drawer. PC, purple clover. And the drawer is empty.
Well, that's that.
What does that mean?
We have a very good hypothesis, but no evidence. So far, you are still the best suspect.
But you know I am innocent. There must be some way we can prove that Allie is... I have an idea. I'll go to see Prince Allie, and I'll confront him with what we know. That will force him to threaten me, perhaps to try to kill me. You can save me at the last minute.
It's not going to work.
Why?
Because this is a country of laws. What you're suggesting is illegal.
Why is it illegal?
Because it's considered entrapment.
But you see it all the time in the movies.
And those movies all end up before the judge throws the evidence out of court. But you did give me an idea.
What idea?
It's a very simple, routine idea. Now you go home, wait there.
What are you going to do?
Just police business. Just go home and wait.
But I can't wait.
You'll just have to.
No, Sahiba. I'm really quite embarrassed.
Your younger brother is plotting against you.
Ali? Oh, that is impossible.
The woman is mad.
Ali wants your people to starve so they will revolt. You will be killed, he succeeds you, and then he gives them the purple grass.
That's a lie.
Fabulous.
It's true. He has discouraged you from accepting the clover. Why? He wants to give it to the people himself.
She's mad.
Oh, what a woman. Look at the fire in her eyes. You may think I'm young for you, Professor, but I value an older woman.
Don't you understand the implications of what I am saying to you?
Be my first wife. The others don't matter. They're only concubines. You will rule, and with fabulous wisdom.
I'm telling you about your brother.
Oh, I know he's plotting against me. It is expected of brothers.
You knew?
Didn't I plot against our older brother?
Then you should have done something about me when you had the chance.
What are you doing with that pistol?
She'll be blamed. She'll be thought mad because of her purple grass. She's already killed her lover. And now you. Because you made her give up her discovery.
No, it's not going to work that way at all. Just lower that gun. That's nice. Why'd you come here, Augusta? Because you didn't think I could help you, huh?
Well, I thought
I just went back for a search warrant. All we have to do is find the seeds and the notes in his possession. Will we find them, Allie?
I don't.
They are in his trunk.
You knew, Luther?
Of course I knew. I had planned to take care of you as soon as we return to our own country. Here, I am restricted by all kinds of legalities.
Prince, I intend to arrest your brother. Will you claim any diplomatic privilege?
None at all. The law is sacred. It must be observed.
Smitty, go get his trunk. Wilson, take him to the station house.
Well, Professor Sanderson, shall you consider my proposal?
She can't do that. She has to come along with me.
Where are we going?
This way, ma'am.
Where are you taking me? Surely I'm not under arrest.
Now, listen. You'd consider going off to Asia with that character?
Oh, I have to take it under very serious consideration.
Why?
It's the first time anyone at all made me a proposal.
Well, relax. You're about to get another one.
I'll be back shortly with a final thought. How slender a thread holds up the world. If 1 million goats can give an extra pint of milk a day, that can mean the difference between life and death for thousands of children. So the true heroes are the overlooked and unknown heroes who daily solve the really great mystery, how to get an acre to yield another few bushels, or the hen to lay another egg. Our cast included Sandy Dennis, Ralph Bell, Robert Dryden, and Arnold Stang. Associate Director, Marlon Swing. This is Hyman Brown, Producer-Director, inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, then, pleasant dreams.
CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall, harbinger of your hour of mystery, suspense, and the macabre. What do we think of when we think of the future? Actually, we think of our own future. And we think of it as tomorrow, or next month, perhaps a few years from now. Some of us can even envision the next decade. But this is as far as we can go for all practical, self-centered purposes. In a vague and even regretful way, we are aware that the world will go on after we're gone. And it will. It will. And what kind of world will it be? Hundreds, thousands, millions of years from now.
My name is Rado. I'm an admiral of the fleet. You're not aware of me, but I can make the decision that will end your life and the life of every living thing in the solar system. I have the power of decision. When we patrol space and I hear my observers say,
"Unknown ship
Range?
34 million miles.
Clear for action?
Clear for action.
Aimer ready?
Ready.
Firing switch on?
Firing switch on.
Right now is when I decide. Do I or do I not press the button that will destroy the world? It's my decision. Mine and mine alone.
Our mystery drama, Who Made Me, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Larry Haynes. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and True Value Hardware Stores. I'll be back shortly with Act 1. The name of the planet is 3. In our day, we called it Earth. But so much has happened since we lived here. So much time has gone by. They call the planet 3 because it's the third planet from the sun. That much, at least, has remained the same. It's a world of people, and the people seem to be divided into 3 classes. First, the group 1s, a kind of aristocracy that rules the planet. Secondly, the group 2s, who perform the incredibly complex, skilled labor. And third, those who can't seem to make it. They're all group 3. As long as they behave themselves, nobody bothers them. This is the story of a group 1 aristocrat named Rado, a very important man, also a very troubled man. Troubled because he's talking to a boy of 18, 19, and the boy is asking questions.
Who made me, Rado?
Again? I thought we settled that last time, Corral.
No, we didn't settle anything.
Who made you? Corral, you know who made you. Leela and I. We made you.
I know about you and Leela. What I'm trying to find out is, who made all of us?
Who made all of us? Why?
Because it bothers me.
Well, now, when something bothers you, you must report to repair.
Leela took me to repair yesterday.
You saw Leela yesterday?
Mm-hmm. It was her duty visit, and she took me to repair.
And what did repair say?
I'm in perfect balance.
Well, then how can anything possibly bother you?
Well, you see...
Yes?
Well, maybe I'm just one of those.
No, Corral, you are not one of those, and you must never say that, even in a joke.
Well, truthfully, the only reason I hope I'm not is for your sake, and Leela's.
For our sakes?
Well, wouldn't you and Leela lose your franchise if you couldn't reproduce your own birth group?
Reproduce is inaccurate and archaic. Say make.
Well, don't you and Leela like being franchised?
Leela and I can only like what is legal and balanced. Now, you stop wasting time with Group 3 type questions like who made me and concentrate on your studies. Lord knows you have enough to keep you busy.
Who's Lord?
Lord?
Well, every now and then people say, Lord knows.
Oh. Well, obviously, there was once a sage named Lord who knew everything.
Well, that's what I thought. But I can't find her in any history book.
Well, that would indicate she was in prehistory.
And that means I'll never find out.
And that's Corral. So far, he's the only one Leela and I made during our franchise partnership. I must admit that my attitude toward him has never been balanced. Legally, all we owe the ones we make is basic training. Yet, I have made, today included, countless free visits. A free visit is not exactly illegal, but it is unusual. Balanced people do not perform unusual actions. And of course, the chief of repair, the commanding officer of repair's fantastic complex of diagnostics, treatment, and therapy, happens to be my own franchise partner, the Lady Leela. But I know I am nurturing a secret imbalance. Because each visit with Corral gives me a feeling of exhilaration. It's wrong, this fear I have for his future, this pride I have in him, this hope I cherish for him. It's wrong. Now, Corral, remember, obey your supervisor.
Yes, Rado.
Keep your eye on the ball.
What does it mean? Keep your eye on the ball?
Well, It's quite possible the ancients may have inscribed the rules of conduct on a device shaped like a ball. And therefore people would do well to keep looking at it. You know, you do ask a lot of questions, and after all, I am not a woman.
Well, even though you're not a woman, people say you know just about everything, Rado.
You made a free visit to Corral today.
I see, Leela, after all these years, one of your inspectors found a way to let you know.
She may think so, but I intend to ruin her career for it.
Now what, my lady? Do you suggest I report for repair? Will you assure me that any Group 1 can ask for it without prejudice?
I suggest you go inside and tell Turn we shall dine shortly.
Certainly. Turn had punched out the food request. Characteristically, she had asked the wrong menu, but I said nothing. You know how they are. The tiniest criticism and they collapse into a severe depression or explode into a manic tantrum. When Turn saw me, she smiled. A typical Group 3 smile. You know those people, they seem to smile with their entire body.
I can release dinner any time, Admiral.
The lady will tell you.
Say the word, sir. Speak one little word, or point your finger, or blink your eye.
I said the lady will tell you.
May I leave the villa tonight and visit my partner?
You must ask the lady.
If the lady says no, I will kill myself. You are free to leave now, Turn. We shall release dinner ourselves. Oh, thank you, lady. Darling lady, sweetest lady ever made.
Why did you allow her to leave so early?
You and I have to talk.
Well, whatever we say would be beyond her.
Yes, if she's Group 3.
Turn? How could Turn be an inspector?
I suspect Turn, because she's too perfect. Too absolutely Group 3.
Well, suppose she is an inspector. What have you and I ever said to each other that's reportable?
I am head of repair. You are Admiral of the fleet. And we are about to be disenfranchised.
Why?
Corral cannot qualify for Group 1. He will fail the examination.
But you took him to repair yourself. He was judged in perfect balance.
Oh, yes. Because he was examined by a single practitioner, and I was present.
Do you think he's out of balance?
Oh, I know it. He's one of those.
I refuse to believe that.
You refuse to accept it. Yesterday he asked me, do you love me, Leela?
Love? I see. Love.
Well, the best I could get out of him is that love is an intense form of like.
Well, couldn't you explain that any emotional intensity is a form of imbalance?
Well, love is an intense like. It can only be bestowed on one person. It restricts and excludes. And what type of Group 3 questions has he been asking of you?
I was afraid to tell her. And yet see how calm she is. It's because she's a woman. We men, we take things so much harder than they do. When Corral is classified down to Group 3, he'll disappear from her life forever. But I know this. He will never be gone from mine. He'll never be cold or sick or hungry, and he shall not die young. Secretly, somehow, I'll arrange to protect him. He's my Corral.
What are you thinking about, Rado?
I'm becoming reconciled to the fact that Corral will not be admitted to Group 1.
Who said he will not be admitted?
You did.
Well, I said he couldn't qualify.
Well, isn't that the same thing?
No. Because, qualified or not, he will pass the examination.
He will? How?
You and I will prepare him for it.
Leela, that's illegal.
Of course. I shall pay my duty visit the day before the exam. I will inject him for stability in physical function.
Well, if that's discovered, we'll be degraded.
I know. I wrote that law myself.
But why, Leela? Why?
Because I don't want to be disenfranchised.
Leela, you're talking like a man.
Oh, shut up.
My lady, you're obviously out of balance.
So report me to an inspector.
Now, let me take you to repair.
No. Please. Please.
Please what?
Find a way to keep us franchised. Please.
But how can I?
I want to stay franchised. I find it pleasurable to be franchised with you. I never expected pleasure. I never even knew it existed. I submitted to the order. I mean, I accepted. I complied with the directive of the franchise committee. After they balanced us together, I agreed. I obeyed the law. And the pleasure came later. Oh, I want us to stay franchised, Rado. Don't you?
I want us to stay balanced, Leela.
Having our franchise is what keeps me balanced overall. Do you understand?
I understand you're unbalanced.
So are you. So are you.
All right. You realize all imbalance must be reported.
Yes. And I'll report mine if you'll report yours. It'll take time, but eventually I can be balanced out of my need for this franchise. Are you willing to be balanced out of your need for Corral? You see, I know about that.
What's to be done? Yes, we could probably cheat him past the classification board somehow, but then what? If he's really Group 3, those characteristics will become noticeable eventually. He'll be officially declassified, and our franchise will be dissolved in any event.
You won't let that happen, Rado.
How can I prevent that?
You'll convince him he's Group 1.
There's no way I can convince him. No way I can make him believe he's Group 1 if he really...
Find a way.
Leela, you don't understand. In his heart, he wants to be Group 3.
Find a way to preserve our franchise.
Assume the worst. He'll be declassified and we'll be disenfranchised. Even if our partnership is dissolved, we can still give each other pleasure, unofficially.
No. I am not a Group 2 machine or a Group 3 animal. My pleasure needs this franchise. If I lose this franchise, I will undergo permanent imbalance. I will confess. I will proclaim our treason. Oh, I will be degraded, but I will drag you down with me, down all the way to Group 3. Do you believe me?
Yes, I believe you.
No one cares who partners whom among those in Group 3. And I have decided. We will be partners till death do us part. You will never escape me.
Be reasonable, Leela.
I could live in Group 3, but you would die. Now, place your arms around me. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, now. Now I feel I'm in perfect balance. And you will save Corral.
Leela, the truth is, he doesn't want to be saved.
Save him, dearest. Save him. Save him. Or I will kill you.
You must remember we're telling you a story that takes place in the distant future. But in many respects, much of what you've learned so far could very well have taken place in our own time. As we evolve, it's only the outward trappings that change. People remain the same, basically. Or do they? Well, there'll be some differences when I return in just a few moments with Act 2. The history of the world is many things. But one thing that always remains constant is the relationship between men and women. We don't mean the relationship is constant. We mean there is a relationship. Because men and women must live together somehow and raise the children somehow. And doesn't the success of any society depend on how well they do it?
Leela, you're not listening to me. I said Corral wants to be in Group 3.
No one in his right mind wants to be in Group 3.
We have created one who is one of those. Balance. Oh, Lord, whoever you were, tell me how I can achieve balance. I need balance. Every time I take the ship up there with my 22 technicians, I'm the one who needs balance. Without Corral, how can I hope for balance? The next time I hear my observer technician warn.
Unknown ship.
Range.
32 million miles.
Clear for action.
Clear for action.
This is how it is on patrol. The unknown ship circles in the viewing field. Is she hostile? Is she curious? Would she just as soon not have spotted us either? Is she stronger than we are? Weaker? This is where I must maintain balance. How easy it would be to signal my aimer and fill the universe with death and destruction. How How often have admirals before me done this? Unbalanced admirals. What a price the universe has paid for that. And how many times? No, balance. Balance. And I am balanced. My vanity, my ego, my pride is not in need of constant nourishment. I do not require all life from the universe to bow down before me. Perhaps the admiral in command of the unknown ship does. I watch the screen. I'm headed for him. He is headed for me. Very well, Admiral. I am not willing. My vanity does not require me to destroy the world. You may claim the victory, and I give the order.
Awaiting orders.
Execute 180-degree turn.
Acknowledge 180.
Head for home.
Heading home.
And once again, I have saved the world. Because I am balanced, I have saved the world. I must never lose this balance, but without Corral and without Laura, how I need you now, right now.
Are you tired, dearest?
She kills me, Laura.
You don't have to talk about her, Rado.
They train you and destroy you, these Group 1 women. Laura, tell me you love me. Tell me you love me.
I love you, Rado. I love you.
Listen to me. I'm fantastically unbalanced. But I don't report to repair. I come here to this Group 3 woman, to this illiterate but beautiful, soft, and lovely woman. I have the power to destroy the universe, but I am helpless in her hands. I come to her so that she can save me from myself.
Don't kiss me now, Rado.
Why not? I love you.
You don't want to kiss me. Not now. Not while there's something inside you that's angry, that's frightened. I can feel it. What is it, Rado?
Yes, I am frightened.
You. Afraid? Oh, no, not my Rado.
Corral. I'm frightened for Corral.
Why?
Corral will be declassified.
Oh, no, not Corral.
Yes, it's true.
Rado, no Group 1 boy is ever declassified.
Oh, but he asks questions. Your kind of questions. Group 3 type questions.
Don't they all? Didn't you?
Why, I don't remember.
You don't want to remember.
How do you know?
Oh, sometimes you talk in your sleep and you ask questions.
What kind of questions?
It's one question. And you've been asking it for years and years.
What question?
Who made me?
Who made me? Of course. That's a normal and natural question. And suddenly 20 years fall away, and I see myself talking to my own Group 1 senior, and I hear myself ask that same question. I remember how important it was for me to find the answer. How I must know that answer at all costs. And I remember how wise and how patient my own senior was, and how he handled the situation. And that's how I must handle Corral. Corral, you haven't asked me the usual question.
No, I decided not to ask anymore.
Why?
It seems to displease you.
Oh. And here I thought you hadn't asked because you had found the answer.
The answer? No, not yet.
Oh. Corral, your classification comes up soon. Will you discuss the question with your examiners?
Absolutely.
You realize two things will happen. First, you won't get an answer. Second, you'll be assigned to Group 3.
I know.
You have no objection to being in Group 3?
I prefer it. I'm not impressed by Group 1. I'm bored by Group 2. The only ones who really live are Group 3s.
Live?
Oh, they don't have the food, and the clothes, and the houses. But they're the only ones who laugh and sing.
Yes, they do make a certain amount of noise. But you won't find your answer in Group 3.
You're Group 1. You can't give me the answer either.
Yes, but I can help you find it.
Can you?
Try me. Ask the question.
Who made me?
Nobody.
Well, then how did everything begin?
It always was.
No, that's not possible. At one time, there must have been nothing. And somebody deliberately said, today I will create something. And she did. And she created something that became you and me and every living creature. And she created a place where we could live. Food we could eat, metals we could shape, fiber we could wear. And all I want to know is, who is that somebody?
Corral, I don't think the answer lies on this planet or any planet in our solar system. I patrol all of them. I meet men and women in all groups of life. I never heard anyone discuss it.
Where is the answer?
There are other solar systems, other galaxies. Perhaps on one of them, on a planet we never heard of, you'll find your answer.
How could I ever get there?
If I had your problem, Corral, I'd seek to solve it in a balanced way. I would register for naval training.
Oh, Rado, who wants to join the fleet?
I would qualify you as a reconnaissance scout.
Rado, I don't mean this personally, but I don't need a uniform and gold braid to bolster my ego.
As a scout in your one-man cruiser, you would have to explore every sector of space. And while on scout, you'd be on search. A lone scout might find the answer.
Could you really qualify me to become such a scout?
Well, only Group 1s are eligible for officer status.
That's unfair.
Unfair is a Group 3 word.
Is it fair for Group 1 to monopolize
No,
all
but it's right. The basic difference between the groups. Group 3s are concerned with what's fair. Group 1s are concerned with what's right.
A machine is always right, too. It always makes the right decision, performs the right action, gives the right answer. No, not always. After a while, there's a bit of wear of malfunction. So it's taken to repair, to be corrected, adjusted, and balanced. How do you differ from machines, you righteous members of Group 1?
Another typical Group 3 tactic, Corral. Always create an involved argument on another subject.
The mechanistic personality of Group 1 is very much the subject of this discussion.
Since when? I thought the subject was how to find a certain answer to a certain question. Interested?
Yes, Rado.
Bear it in mind. And you'll breeze through your exams. And don't ask embarrassing or unbalanced questions.
But suppose that's how I feel.
You must hide that fact from your examiners.
But that defeats the purpose of the examination.
Whose purpose? Suppose you ask an examiner an unbalanced question. He can't answer it. He'll try to repair it out of you. If he succeeds, you'll be balanced to his satisfaction. But you still won't have the answer. Suppose you say nothing. You show no outward imbalance. You will then have freedom of action to learn the answer in your own way, in your own time.
You're saying the end justifies the means.
That's how we must live. If you don't have the means you like, you must learn to like the means you have.
Rado.
How else? Where else can you find the answer?
Maybe you're right.
Keep your eye on the ball.
I wish I knew what it said on that ball.
Probably what I just told you. Just think, Corral. You'll be free to find the answer. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
I have saved him. I have saved him in spite of himself. Just as I was saved in spite of myself so many years ago. And I have saved the world, because now I can remain in perfect balance. And the next time observer technician calls out,
"Unknown ship.
Range.
42 million miles.
Clear for action."
Clear for action.
What is she doing?
Holding steady.
Stand by to change course. Complete turn. 180 degrees.
180, turn.
I'm balanced. I'm in perfect balance. With Leela, Laura, and Corral. And this balance must always remain exactly the way it is now. And I beg, I implore, whoever, whatever made me, keep me in this balance. Don't let me destroy the world.
Well, you can see what's involved. We are dealing with human beings, and human beings are made of highly volatile and combustible materials. And balance, whatever it may mean in that far-off future time, seems to be a precarious state at best, especially since it seems to hang on the whim of a 19-year-old boy. Well, the immediate future will bring you the third act when I return in just a few moments. time to time, we speculate about the future. Will it be paradise? Will it be utopia? Some say yes. Some say no. Some say, why should we expect people to be smarter or better than our ancestors? Oh, we have more knowledge. But do we have more wisdom?
Rado, you saw Corral today.
Yes, Leela.
And what did you say to him?
Corral will pass his exam.
Oh, are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?
Nothing. I simply remembered what it was like to be a boy. To be filled with fears by the size of the world around me. The confusion of sights and sounds. Permissions. Prohibitions. To look at the stars and wonder, where does it begin? And where does it end? Who made it? And I remember how I asked my own senior.
Did he give you the answer?
No. But he gave me the courage to go out and look for it.
Mm. And did you, Rado?
Oh, yes.
Did you find it?
No. Perhaps it doesn't exist. I looked for it a long time. Then one day, I stopped.
Why?
The answer didn't seem important anymore, or maybe the question no longer bothered me. I forgot it even existed until Corral brought it up. Well, it will bother him the way it bothered me. And then one day, he will forget it, just as I have forgotten it. Actually, I never forgot it. It just really doesn't seem all that vital anymore. And so, as the time for his exam approached, I could see that Corral had made his decision. He wasn't happy, but he was making the best of it.
It's more important to be balanced.
Yes, Corral.
The world must be run, and the world must be saved by balanced people. The people of Group 1.
Yes, say the rest of it, Corral.
Our system requires balance. It ordains who is Group 1, who is Group 2, who is Group 3. This is our holy mission.
Yes, Corral. You are ready for your exam.
Rado? What does holy mean?
It means, complete and entire. It comes from the word whole.
Huh. But why is it spelled without the W?
Oh, some lazy Group 3 printer must have left it off by mistake and custom.
I can't wait to qualify for reconnaissance scouts and leave. I can't wait.
It was me all over again 20 years later. I have succeeded. I have saved him for Group 1 because he thinks, as I did, it's the only way to find the answer. Of course, later on, he'll realize the answer exists here at home. He'll find a Group 3 woman like Laura, and she'll explain it to him the way Laura explained it to me. And like me, he won't be able to accept it. I remember when I learned the answer. Laura, do you ever ask yourself, who made me?
I know.
I don't mean your senior partners.
No, nor do I. I mean, I know who made all of us.
You do?
Yes. Love.
Love.
There is a spirit. It's called love. And it has created this beautiful world we live in.
How do you know? Have you ever seen the spirit?
Well, of course. You see it in the trees, in the flowers, in laughter, and in everything that's good.
Can you prove it?
You don't have to prove it. You just feel it. You just know it. You just recognize it.
Oh, Laura, you're so good for me. This nonsense that you prattle, it's so refreshing.
But it isn't nonsense.
Oh, now, Laura.
I love you. And because I love you, I'm alive. You see, love has made me. Love is everything.
Yes, of course.
Well, one day, perhaps, you'll believe it.
And on that day, I will be so unbalanced. Repair will have me reclassified out of Group 1. Love.
It's true.
True or not, only a member of Group 3 can afford to believe it.
Message for the Admiral.
Yes?
From the Commander-in-Chief. Report immediately. Acknowledge?
Tell her I acknowledge. Navigator, head for home. the oldest, the wisest, the most powerful member of Group 1. And when she calls you in, it's for no trivial reason. It usually means war or revolution or something that could determine the very life of the people. I had never been summoned before. What could this mean?
Be seated, Admiral.
Yes, my lady.
Do you know why I sent for you?
No, my lady.
I have here a directive. It is to be read to all Group 1 officers of the fleet.
Effective immediately. No Group 1 commissioned officer is to associate with or visit any female member of Group 3. Signed, the Commander-in-Chief.
Do you know the problem?
No, my lady.
Well, you should. You're part of it. In 18 years, how many offers have you made in your franchise?
Well...
You have made only one. Daily, our numbers dwindle. The Group 3s multiply like animals. Now, isn't that true?
Yes, my lady.
Now, you understand part of the reason for this directive. The other part is even more important, more sinister. The Group 3s are planning a revolution.
A revolution? I can't believe that.
You can't? Why not? Are we outnumbered heavily by Group 3?
Of course.
Since they form the majority, shouldn't it logically occur to them that they should rule the society?
But, my lady...
And isn't it a part of their strategy to seduce and debilitate the males of Group 1? And aren't they actually doing it? Do you agree?
Yes, my lady, I agree.
I thought so. That's the only balanced answer. No one in your command is to associate with Group 3 women. Understood?
Yes.
Intelligence has prepared a list of all known women in Group 3 who are visited regularly by Group 1 officers. Here's your copy.
Thank you, my lady.
They are all to be rounded up by fleet police and placed in special detention camps.
For how long?
For the rest of their lives.
Oh, but
it will discourage other women of that group from associating with Group 1 males.
Yes, my lady.
Well, is anything wrong, Admiral Rotto?
No, ma'am.
Perform your mission. You are dismissed.
There was no way I could look at that list in her presence. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I couldn't wait to get to the bridge of my own ship where I could be alone and undisturbed. And I opened the envelope and took out the list, and my eyes shut down to the L's. And there she was. Laura. What was I going to do? And then the voice of my tech.
Message to the Admiral.
Acknowledge.
Have passed examination. M Group 1. Leave immediately as a recon scout. Will return when I find the answer. Keep your eye on the ball. Signed, Corral.
Acknowledge. Corral is gone from me. And they'll take Laura away too. No, I won't let them. I can't let them. I can't give up Laura. I can hide you, Laura.
No, Rado, no.
Why not?
I couldn't live that way.
But you'll die in that camp.
I'll die anyway. I need people, music, happiness. I need life.
Laura, listen. This is just a temporary scare.
I believe it.
What do you believe?
I believe there'll be a revolt.
Group 3 will revolt? Group 3 will try to overthrow the government how? With what?
Just by being, just by existing. For your own good, Rado. I will leave you.
For my good?
You're living a lie, and I'm helping.
Laura, I can't give you up.
You don't have to.
But the law says...
The law says no Group 1 commissioned officer is to associate with women of Group 3. You are commanded to round up the women of Group 3.
I know all this.
Rado, become a member of Group 3 yourself. Then there's no problem, no violation of the law. There's your answer, Rado. You can't do it.
I love you, Laura.
But not enough.
Laura, please.
Poor Rado.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me. You sent for me, Commander-in-Chief?
Yes, Admiral. I have sent for you to give you a commendation. Read it.
To Admiral of the Fleet, Rado. Well done. You have accomplished your mission in less than 1 month. Group 3 women are no longer the menace to an orderly, balanced society. Thank you, my lady.
I shall overlook one tiny matter of imbalance.
Madam?
Yes, Rado. After all, I couldn't very well expect you to arrest your own Group 3 woman.
My own?
I couldn't expect any officer to arrest his own woman. And I know for a fact that every one of you took his own woman off the list.
But my lady...
You see, Rado, this proves I'm right. It's how an association with a Group 3 woman can undermine a man.
My lady,
A special squad corrected all these missions. Your woman was arrested this morning. Later, she killed herself.
Yes, my lady.
Now, you are in balance. Go back to your duty.
Unknown ship. Admiral. Unknown ship.
Yes, what is it?
Unknown ship.
Range.
32 million miles. Await orders, sir.
I should stand up to them. But I must back down. I must back down for the commander-in-chief. I must back down for Leela. And now look at the strange ship in the viewing field. Does her admiral think I'm going to back down for him, too? I'll blow this whole universe apart. I'll show everybody. Look at him coming at me.
Range, 29 million. 29 million.
Full speed ahead.
Full? Ahead?
Aimer, ready.
Aimer, ready.
I won't back down for you, my friend. Firing switch on.
Firing switch on.
Range.
24 million.
I'll show everybody. I'll teach them to take Laura away from me. Laura, I will... No, Laura, not for you. Not for what I learned from you. Love made me. And not for Corral, not for my son. Yes, I know that word. It's the same word as the sun in the sky. That's what the one you make becomes, the sun in your sky. No, even though you're both gone, you will keep me balanced.
Range, 22 million. Firing switch on.
Firing switch off.
Firing switch off.
Navigator, prepare a 180-degree turn. We're headed home.
Acknowledge.
What's the unknown ship doing?
She is turning, too.
I almost did it this time. I almost did it. Oh, love. Laura's love. That made all of us. Help me. Help me always. Please, don't let me destroy the world.
More and more we develop machines that can annihilate the universe. And more, the decision to destroy or not to destroy rests in fewer and fewer hands. And these are human hands, impelled by human strengths and human weaknesses. And that's about where and how it is and will always be. I'll be back in a few moments. How many times has the world been destroyed? Are we the first civilization of our kind? How many have there been before us? Can anyone say? But the world will always be destroyed until we can all give Corral's question, who made me? Laura's answer, love. Our cast included Larry Haynes, Marion Seldes, Don Scardino, and E.V. Juster. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
He ordered her to. No one refuses him. And besides, look at her. she does not seem unwilling.
Her eyes are looking straight into his. There's a smile on her face.
No one resists the Saltmaster's son. See how closely he holds her. Stop them, Brother Ambrosius, stop them. He shall not have her. I shall see her pretty face mocked with blood before he takes her.
Musicians, stop playing. Stop the playing in the name of God. Stop. Benedicta. Where is everyone? Where have they gone? Why is it so silent? Why am I so alone? Amula! Amula, where are you?
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by all state insurance companies. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre.
Until next time, pleasant dreams.